It should be bell-shaped. This isn't bell-shaped. This is half a bell.
Any parabola you draw will be an incomplete parabola. Therefore, is it not a parabola?
But if you draw a parabola, it'll have the two ends. It'll have the two bells, like the two curves, right? It'll be symmetrical. No. If this isn't symmetrical, it's not a parabolic.
Percentage, you're actually both right and both wrong. He is absolutely right that any part of a parabola that can be represented by the formulation for a parabola is a parabola. That is how it works. Doesn't have to be the bell. That is correct. But wasn't finished. But a ballistic curve, a ballistic parabola, is not actually an actual parabola. It has more factors to it. Okay?
Yes! That's it! Thank you! Railgun
Nothing help you, Jim.
It has to drag of air, that's all. It's simply losing speed. Get over yourself.
That's not the point I was arguing, though. The point I was arguing was... That's not the point I was arguing, though. The point I was arguing was that any part of a parabola is still a parabolic curve.
And you're right.
It's not part of a parabola, is what we're saying. It's just a curve.
Like a parabolic curve.
It's just a curve. It's not part of a parabola.
What part of a circle? What kind of curve is it a part of?
A circle. It's a quarter of a circle.
It's not a circle.
Really? So it's just an arc from one side to the perpendicular side, and it's not a circle? What do you think a quarter of a circle is, bro?
I mean, you're backpedaling like mad, dude.
You're
I mean, saying you are. Why you have to overtalk me? Saying that part of a parabola is not a parabolic curve is just retarded.
It's not part of a parabola because it never makes a parabola ever.
Thank you.
Nothing in the world ever could.
What is the function for that curve then, please?
It is a parabola plus the coefficient of the drag.
What is the function for a parabola? What is the function for a parabola?
Yo, you're the one that keeps on claiming it's a parabolic curve and it has a parabola. It doesn't have a parabola. The burden of proof is on your positive claim.
What do you think the AT squared stands for? Is going to do S equals UT plus half AT squared. How is that not a parabola?
I'm saying it's part of a circle. How about that? It's a circular curve.
No,
you got a problem with that?
Shove that silly formula up your ass. Equals R squared. You can shove that silly formula up your ass. You can shove that silly formula up your ass.
Yeah, and get over it.
Shove it where the sun don't shine. Shove it where the
let me
sun
just
don't
get
shine.
Professor Phil. Let's find some common ground. Professor Phil, do you agree that it'll never be a complete, like it'll never have both sides of the parabola? This projectile?
It's still parabolic, no matter how little there is.
Okay, but you agree that it'll never make a parabola, right?
It is a parabola.
No, it's not. It's not a bell. It's half a bell. It's not both sides of the parabola.
Dude, a bell isn't a parabola.
A bell shape, a bell curve? Yes.
A bell shape is not a fucking parabola. What drugs are you on?
The point is, I'm saying the both sides of the bell. Like,
the point is,
the rise and the fall.
Not a parabola.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the flattened out part.
You're grasping at straws, pedantic.
Right, forget that I said bell. You guys are being pedantic and focusing on the flattened out ends. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the curve itself, the arc.
Yes.
It goes up and then it goes down. Okay, that's a parabola.
Yes. There is no parabolic arc.
There's only one half of that in this thing.
It's all gone quiet over there. And it's all gone quiet over there.
Oh, Jin, shut up.
Panda?
No.
A parabola doesn't need to go up and down.
No, to be fair, usually the ballistic curve is shortly described as a parabola. It is not actually. It is a ballistic curve because there's a loss of speed, velocity for the projectile. Means that it's sort of, more flat than compressed more than it should be. But it is usually described as parabola-like. And it is most definitely parabolic in the nature it goes up and it comes down.
Of course. It's not going up at all, it's just going bang. Otherwise it would not be able to make the
just going bang.
Pow! Mark 7.
Pow! Kapow!
You're dead.
Kaboom!
Come on.
How can I possibly know?
Mark 5, all gone. Instantly. Come on, man. Grow gun proves flat earth. Flat earth.
No, it doesn't.
Stick those silly equations up your ass.
You can stick them silly formulas up your ass. Stick them where the sun don't shine, right up where they don't shine. Stick those silly formulas up your
No
ass.
singing on the server. Jin.
Love you, Jin.
Would you like another?
You realize that what it just said means you lost, right?
Would you like another one? V squared equals U squared plus 2AS.
What the hell is that all about?
Again, motion. Projectile motion.
Great. What the hell's that all about? Yeah, could you explain that one too, Professor?
You see,
This is great.
You see the wonderful thing about this, about gravity, is we can make such accurate predictions. If I throw a ball in the air, I can predict how far it's going to go, and I can predict how long it's going to take before it gets back to the ground. How do I do that? Have I got magic? Am I a magician?
If I could be in your room, I could predict. I could do a roundhouse kick to the side of your head and do the maths to see how hard you'd hit the ground. Thank you very much. Understand?
This is not going to be the same as if I throw the ground.
I'd give you a reverse Kokomi to the face, and then you'd really know about
Explain this with density, please, Jin. If you stand up, if you go to a height,
it's only
of 10
a joke,
meters,
isn't it? Come on.
If you go to a height of 10 meters and you have a ball bearing, a small ball bearing, and a large bowling ball, and drop them, they'll fall together at the same time. Can you please explain why that's the case?
Unfortunately for you,
they will accelerate.
Unfortunately for you, took it to the top of the twin towers when they were around, and then dropped it. The ball bearing, the bigger object would fall first.
No, it will not.
High enough.
No,
it's just not going up. I know it will. I know it will.
Air resistance.
No, it
will not. Will be negligible.
I know it will.
They will fall at
but
the same
I know
time.
it will.
No,
it won't fall at the same
dreaming,
time.
mate.
I know they will fall at different times. I know
No,
this.
they won't.
I posted an experiment today in this server. Do you want me to post it again?
And take two. Go up there and take 2 bricks with you and throw the 2 bricks.
We don't need to go that far to prove it. We don't need to go that far, but I can prove it to you. In a vacuum.
Please, be my guest.
Right, because you know what I mean? You're talking out the side of your neck there, son.
Now, let me see what you think about this. Can I ask you a question? If I had to shoot a bullet from a rifle, and at the same time I dropped another one from the same height, so I dropped a bullet and shot a bullet from the rifle, which one would hit the ground first?
Ridiculous question.
Have a think about it.
It doesn't bear thinking about, mate. It was a ridiculous, stupid, retarded question. See, you think you're smart. But I told you, if you dropped your objects from the height of the Twin Towers, the heavier one's going to hit the ground first. So stop being an ass.
Actually, I've got something an interesting story to tell you. This is when I'm in Dubai.
Another bloody story. Okay, here we go.
Okay, when I'm in Dubai, I like to stay at the Burj Khalifa. It's a lovely place. Okay,
here we go.
And a pretty tall building. Now, the wonderful thing about this building, they actually have tours so that you can go and see the sun. You know, you can see the sun set, and then they'll take you up right up to the top, and you can see the sun set again. Right now, I'll tell you what. This is really exciting. When you are at the bottom at the fountain at the Burj Khalifa, and it's pitch black, it's dark. You know what? If you look up right at the top of the building, the sun is still shining on it. It is amazing to see. I wonder why that happens.
It is not proving the curvature of this Earth where we measure any curvature or detect any rotational spin.
Then what is it showing, Jin?
Jin, it absolutely is proving that, and you can go to the top of the tower and see the sunset again, Jin. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Welcome to Globe Earth.
We just battered you with the railgun. Now we're going to batter you with a flat Earth truth.
Can I actually say something? Jin, here's your opportunity now, man, to actually explain what it does show. What does Professor Phil's observation actually mean?
Well, Professor Phil can put himself in a dustbin and put a lid on that one straight away.
That's not what I asked, Jin. That's not an appropriate answer to the question.
Anyway, let me carry on. I will carry on now.
Oh, you carry on enough.
What it is actually demonstrating is this. On a flat Earth, and the sun is on its way to another part of the world, and it's about to become nighttime where you are. Thank you. I rest my case with the railgun, of course.
But why is it black? Why is it pitch black? Why is it pitch dark on the ground? And when you look up the top of the building,
has gone.
You can still see the sun shining at the top of the building.
Why do you think? Hang on. Why do you think?
Why do I think? Because the Earth is curved, and right down there, the sun is still setting right down past the horizon. From my point of view on the ground, it looks dark. It's all dark for me, but the sun is just over the horizon. If you go high enough,
Gene, let me have a lane here. Gene, let me have a lane here.
Yeah, go on.
So, are you saying the sun goes beneath our feet?
Yes, of course.
Where's that observed?
Every time you look at a sunset.
It absolutely does, Meryl, and we could do this. Me and you're in Australia, I'm in New Zealand. We could do this experiment tomorrow, but you won't do it.
When has anyone seen the sun go beneath our feet?
Well,
when you're observing
neutrinos, you took a photo through the Earth of the sun below the ground with neutrinos.
So it's 93 million miles away, and then it goes beneath our feet.
Yeah, and they took a picture of it straight down through the Earth.
And do you know why I can't measure that it's 93 million miles away? But do you want to know why I think it might be that far away?
Do you know that I know that it's absolute
Not
bollocks?
really. Not really.
Okay.
I'd rather you.
Okay.
I'd rather you crash your head inside. That'd be more interesting. But carry on.
But go ahead, yeah. Explain it to me that you know.
Come on.
The reason that the sun proves that it's far away and that it's the Earth moving is that the sun goes down and it comes up. It doesn't change angular size, which means to me that it's really fucking far away. Just like the stars, the parallax of the stars don't change because they're really, really fucking far away. It's not science and rockets.
It certainly isn't science and rockets because they're just fireworks anyway.
I did an observation. This is why I know it's bullshit. I did an observation once from a water tower in the scenic rim in Queensland. So the sun was going behind a mountain. Can you just mute for a section because it does the echo? Like, come back in. But
I didn't realise it was me, but I will mute right now.
It does echo. So the sun was going behind a mountain, and there was a guy with a tripod filming it. And I said, if you were standing out on the mountain, is the sun going beneath our feet? And they just both looked at me like dirty looks too. So can we get to the point where we start to realise that the sun at a distance isn't really going below the curve it just appears to be? Can we, after 6 years, we still haven't got there yet? Like, can this be the moment where we get there, or is it too hard for people?
Most people in the world have got there when they were just children.
Right, so when they told you how does the water stick to the ball, and they say gravity. When you're a kid and you're too young to really understand the concept, and that's why they slip it in there, like the slippery eels and rats they are.
Why would they be too young?
Hang on. Could I just be a slippery eel and slide in here? Just really quickly. Meryl, I know, I understand that everyone that's in the flat earth has said that all one day, years ago, they were a globe earther. And they just believed it. My question is, did you just believe it? Or did you understand it? Because from what I'm hearing, you just believed it. You'd never understood how it worked. Because I understood it, and I've listened to Flat Earth for 5 or 6 years, and I still struggle with what I'm hearing. I'm like, how the fuck? If you know what I mean. In all respectness.
Imagine what I feel then.
I mean, it's not really about our feelings. That's the unfortunate thing for everybody.
Yeah, you know
what it's really about is see, I haven't done this, but maybe now's the time. Now they say we're in an orbit around the sun. We're in a solar system, so the sun's the big G.
Oh yeah,
and then we have right. No, I'm just going to show you that I do understand it.
Okay.
So you've got the theory of relativity, and you've got the inverse square law, which basically states because the sun's far away, it counteracts all the other gravitational forces, which are revolving basically around it. Hence heliocentrism. Blue and Professor before were explaining that it's a ripple through space, that the sun is distorting it with time, acceleration, nothing's static, so it all has to be moving. That's how it maintains relativity. And it's all moving. You got the sun 500,000 miles an hour. You got Earth at 66,000 miles an hour, and you got 1,000 mile RPM basically. So there's a lot of motion going on there.
But bear in mind, you have massive differences between distances between mass, which is what the difference in the equation is.
Well, the star trails prove flat Earth.
How the fucking howdy do did you get that, big fella?
Because you've got 3 separate motions. They wouldn't look like that.
Yeah, but our solar system is the big distances I was talking about, and then the rest of the universe is 10 quadrillion times bigger than what I was just talking about.
So we've all been told that universe big, right?
Yes, it's enormous, doesn't even describe it.
How big is it?
Do you want me to make up a word to describe how huge it is?
Do you know what, Jazza? If I had a sword and I could find the cunt who installed this in us, do you know what I'd do?
You'd go to jail for life.
You know what I'd do, though?
Yeah, you'd...
Would you give him your sword?
You'd kill me for going to jail for life for fucking murdering a fucking normal person for being insane.
No.
Would you make a sandwich?
No, I wouldn't make a sandwich. But you know what I'd do? I'd hold that person to ransom and ask them, why are you fucking with every single person on this plane?
I'd strip that sword out of your hand.
What do you stand to gain from such a big fuck off lie like this, cunt?
And do you know what the special forces would do? They'd come in, they'd storm through the window and go, "You are fucked in the head," and just shoot you.
So why would they protect him and not me?
Because, dude, you're not that special. You don't know. You don't know anything.
What makes the liar special? What makes the liar special?
No.
Lie is being irrational.
Hang on, there's no fucking liars. You could walk out onto your street tomorrow and get hit by a bus.
There's no liars.
You're not
There's
special.
no liars. You getting real or what?
Stop thinking you're special.
So
you're not.
Why is the liar special? Why
You're
does
not.
the liar have a... listen to me, Jazz.
No,
why does the liar have a special forces in the military around them protecting it? Why,
Because
Jazza?
what I'm saying is the liar's not special.
Earth's
You're not
waking up,
special.
you little cunt.
They're doing it because you're calling him a liar without having any evidence that he's a liar.
You can't stop this, you dumb fucks.
You don't have any proof that you are not a liar.
You're going to behave like a child now, Merle. Instead of having an adult conversation
woke
and discussion.
time.
Instead of having an adult discussion and a conversation, you're going to behave like a child now.
You're going to mug us off forever. It's not going to happen. Not on my watch.
That's why you'd get shot, not the other person, Merle.
That's why they've got to censor the Merle and Beauregard, right? Because he fucking talks it real, right?
Merle, I'm the nicest guy in the world, and I love and respect you and the conversations that we have. But you are not the most special person in the world. None of us are. Any one of us can walk out on the road tomorrow and get hit by a bus. Does that mean that we're special? Oh, God wanted us to be hit by a bus and fucking mutilated.
Do you think they give a fuck about you?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Why do you give a fuck about them then?
Fuck about the truth.
Why do you protect? Why do you gatekeep and protect them?
Because in a way, I respect kind of what you're saying, not in the same religious way, but in the same way that you're saying a creator created this flat earth with a dome over it.
No, I didn't say that once, and I've never said that, and you should know me better than that by now.
I do, but I do hear you saying that a creator created these walls, and I hear it all the time from all of you.
You hear it from the Flat Earth Society. You hear
no,
hang on.
Give me
You're gatekeeping me right now.
No, hang on,
you
bro.
can no, all you want.
Hang on, bro. I'm just gonna give up, and you'll win, and you'll go be like, oh my God, I won.
No, I don't need to win. You are my brother. What you'll never realize. Listen to me, Jazza, for 1 second. What you'll never realize about me is I always had your best interests at heart. Every one of these cunts. I'm standing up for all of you because you are too cucked out, too blue-pilled to realize the situation you're in. Me and Del and Gav and others know it's afoot. It's inevitable. It's inevitable, but you don't want to own it. It's on for young and old. You're running out of time too. That's the problem the Earth's in. It's happening. Deal with it. You can't.
Dude, what I was saying now is that you're
we're not the messiahs. We're not. We're just normal, everyday, regular dumb fucks like you. Regular dumb fucks just like you.
Oh no, no, you're definitely not. I can tell you that.
We never claimed to be special. We just switched our fucking brains on. That's all that happened. It's the only difference between flat Earth and globe Earth. It just hasn't switched its brain on yet. It's fucking dormant. You pussies. That's your problem. You suck the man's dick.
Okay, bro. I'm gonna stop talking to you because you're
Hey, Merle, have you got any more cliches and catchphrases and empty rhetoric there, or do you actually have any evidence to bring to the table?
How's the man's dick feel up your ass, Paul? That's all I want to say.
Why are you being so childish, Merle? I mean, saying things like that just doesn't put you in a good light, Merle.
Hang on. I'm just going to say that Merle and what's your handle? Charlie Romeo Juliet. You're both cognitive. You're both cognitive.
What's your handle, good buddy?
Cognitive into
What's your 20?
Into quantum eraser.
Breaker, where are you now? What's your?
You've heard all your shit from that dickbag, and now he's your disciple. Every single one of yous spout what that dick says, and he's so wrong. It's hilarious.
Jazz, we all got it with Eric Dubay, mate. We got
Eric Dubay. He's the other one. Eric Dubay is the dumbest motherfucker in the world.
Not a listen, Jazz, you're the one who's triggered. You're the one who's triggered. Listen to me. It's not the messenger. I
love it.
Listen to me. It's not the messenger. It's the message.
No, yes, you're right. It is the message, because 729 of his messages were the same thing, just said a different way.
But when did water start to display convexity on its surface and turn into a big fuck-off planetary sphere?
The same day 4 billion years ago, where it fucking
this is where the split happened in the human species. Some of the human species realised that it's bullshit, and it can't happen. And it defies physics.
Some very few, and you've noticed that it's taken 6 or 7 years for that to happen.
That's where it starts, with a few, a select few.
0.001% have realised that.
Doesn't make us special either. We just figured it out.
It occurred at the time that the very first water droplet formed.
And you can't demonstrate it. You've got every excuse in the book.
We can demonstrate it all the time.
With what?
Demonstrate your model of flat Earth then, Mel. Come on.
What's
you
to
demonstrate it all the time?
What's to demonstrate?
Meryl, what does a balloon full of helium do in a vacuum? What does it do?
It falls, mate.
Listen to me. How do you even know there's a vacuum up there?
I just said to you, on Earth, a vacuum.
No, you asked me.
Okay. What? Hang on, Meryl.
Based on an assumption.
Someone just answered the question.
I'm too rational for you. And when will you yield to the rationality and logic?
What does a balloon in a vacuum do when controlled by you? You can suck the air out of the room at any time you want. What will the helium do?
Listen.
Actually, Meryl, what will the helium do? What's your hypothesis?
Listen to me.
With air and without air.
Listen to me. Petrol exists.
Answer the question.
Listen to me. I will. Listen to me.
Wow, how deep petrol exists. Wow.
Listen to me.
That's so deep and meaningful.
Petrol, shut the fuck up, room. I'm talking to Jazz.
Answer question.
I am. Give me a fucking chance without rumpusing me.
Okay.
And then I'll shush.
Sorry.
No, you won't.
Petrol
you still
exists.
won't answer the question.
I will.
Yes, it
Give
does.
me a fucking opportunity to. Give me 10 seconds at least.
9,
NZ.
8,
back off, NZ.
7, 6.
Right. Petrol exists. Helium
4,
exists.
3.
Right? You can put it in a balloon. You can let it go. And it will
Time's
rise.
up, Mel.
Yeah. Helium, hydrogen are lighter than air. They will float. What happens to helium and hydrogen in a vacuum?
What vacuum? A man-made one or a natural one?
Oh my fucking god! Are you the poster child for what people are supposed to fucking expect on what happens?
I'm the poster child for somebody questioning their own reality. Yes.
So, okay, so basically, we can't think that space is real because we can't go there. So I can't think that you're real. So you're a complete bag of shit. And
you were fine. You don't listen. You were logical and rational.
Yeah, I was.
Stay with it. Stay with it. Show them how smart you are.
I was until you come up with complete bags of shit.
Listen to me. I'm your friend.
I'm not listening to you. You are not my messiah.
I'm not trying to be.
You are.
No, I'm not. Brian Cox, right? Drops feathers.
Yes, you are.
In what?
You are trying to be my messiah.
Ignore them because they're just trolls.
You need to keep off the terps. It's not good for you.
I'm trying to ignore them, but I can't because you're not my messiah.
Listen to me, faggots.
Presented a program where a drop test was done. He didn't drop the stuff, and he doesn't.
Where was that conducted? Where was that conducted?
And if you had any senses, any senses, faculties in your
stop being a drunk faggot. So where was that experiment conducted?
You would realise that any of that was done by a bag of fucking dicks that were making YouTube videos to make you think this shit.
I think it was at the Space Power Facility at NASA.
Brian Cox sucks cocks.
Jazz, I'm not above you. You're not below me. We're on the level together. So, the vacuum. Listen to me. The vacuum is man-made, right?
Ooh.
No.
Yes.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's a sealed unit. They seal it. You see the fucking door shut.
You're right.
How the fuck do you get that?
So, how do you know there is a vacuum of space?
Because there's a pressure gradient. It's not science and rockets.
Listen.
I do know it.
Listen. Heliocentrist. Listen to me.
Dicklog. I fly in the pressure gradient every fucking day. So don't tell me there's no pressure gradient. You fucking idiot.
You're talking about the vacuum.
Humans have sent tools up into the atmosphere and into space.
You know the vacuum of space exists.
If there is a pressure gradient, there is no need for a container, you dumb fucking assholes. If there's a pressure gradient, there is no container.
Mel, if you want the real answer is because we've been there and measured it.
Exactly.
No. Are you going to give me a lane or not?
Well, that's the real answer.
Smash you to pieces.
Real world answer is, Mel.
Jim, they're not letting me talk, mate. This is censorship of the highest degree.
That's what we're doing. So now
gatekeepers on watch. Now listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me, and then I'll shut up. And then Jin can have a go. Shut up, gatekeepers. You've had your chance. Now you're going to fucking pay the piper.
You never do keep your promise.
Pay the piper. You ready for it?
Everybody that betted against me owes me money.
Right, you ready? Put your fucking bets in. All we have is the atmosphere and a pressure gradient. What's above that? None of you fucks know.
Let me know when he's
That's the fucking truth. You don't know if there's a fucking dome, a fucking ceiling, a firmament, flat earth society. Listen to me.
Mel, there's no need for this kind of language, Mel.
The dome is up there. Of space.
Listen, why aren't you letting me speak?
Because you're being an idiot, Mel. No need for that kind of language. There's no need for that kind of language or attitude. Yeah, no need for that kind of language, Mel. If you're going to speak, not if you're going to speak like that, Mel. Mel, not if you're going to be an idiot and speak like that. If you can't speak with respect and dignity to us, then you don't deserve to be able to speak.
Okay, I'll do it polite and I'll use my manners.
Thank you.
Now, Paul and everybody in the room, I apologise. Now, listen to me. Jin, can you mute, please?
Right, you pussy. we're going to do it politely.
Now, all I'm saying is the pressure gradient.
Yeah, John, continue. You want to do something politely.
The pressure gradient only goes to a certain elevation. Okay?
How do you know that?
Because we've got the Kármán line.
How do you know it only goes to that elevation, Mel?
Because hot air balloons and rockets have been sent up there.
Hot air balloons don't go up to the Kármán line, Merle. So that's not an answer. And rockets go well beyond the Kármán line. So either way, you're wrong.
Philip Baumgartner went well beyond the Kármán line.
Did he?
Yeah, well beyond.
So you still don't know what's beyond the atmosphere. You have your assumptions, but you don't have anything demonstratable because you would provide it.
Yeah, we do have demonstratable.
What have you got, Druss?
It's called all
vehicles
that we have sent into. On a second, we got all the vehicles that we've sent up into space that have sent back telemetry data.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to disagree with you. Baumgartner didn't go anywhere near the Kármán line.
Yeah, I also looked at what Baumgartner jumped from the elevation of 41 kilometers.
Meters, didn't I? Sorry, I withdraw that. I was wrong on that one.
Happens. But he jumped from 41 kilometers, and Kármán line is around 100.
No balloon's gone to the Kármán line.
60 miles.
How should they? Atmosphere,
well,
zero approximately.
Well, myself and Haunted House called NASA, and he pretended to be a teacher, and we were told that some of their balloons can go 120 kilometers into the atmosphere.
120,000 feet, I would have thought. I think
120 kilometers.
Well, that's just plain. That's just wrong, Mel.
And you show me that
unless you can present me evidence otherwise, I'm calling that an absolute lie.
That's what NASA told us.
I agree with that. No.
Yeah,
can you show me that
completely wrong.
Audio log or any evidence that they did so, or that there are any documents which suggest
5 times to 3?
Yes. And without getting triggered, Moyoc Man's seen it too. And other people in here, he was actually around.
Well, because I honestly would like to see the documents of this balloon, which can go higher than 120
Kármán line is 62 miles up.
Yeah, the record
62 miles to the Kármán line.
Yeah, that's the
And
Kármán
Felix
line. We've
didn't
already
go-
said that, Jen. 100 kilometers, 60 miles.
It's
So
impossible for a balloon to get
the
to the
record for a
Kármán
weather
line.
balloon is 173,000 feet.
Yes, it's impossible for a balloon to get to the Kármán line.
Listen, there's misinformation. Okay? It doesn't correlate, it doesn't match with anything we've been told scientifically. You can't prove it. You fucking sprung there for a start.
Well,
you don't know what it consists of. What have you got beyond fucking noble
You're getting
gases?
aggro again, Merle. There's no need for that.
Okay, let's talk about the gases and what it consists of then, with polite and respect.
Oh, hang on. Let's talk about that. I'm just going to have a smoke. I'll be back in 2.
So what's up there?
So the problem I've
No,
got
Druss,
is
you don't know what's up there.
How
Yes,
far are
talk
you
about
talking
what's
about?
up there.
So again, we've sent vehicles into space, and we've got telemetry data back from them, and that's where we get our data from.
So what's up there?
Not a lot. We have less and less
What's
gas as we move further and further away, so we get pretty close to a vacuum.
So what? The gas just stops, and then what?
No,
It
did I
just
say
gets
that?
less and less and
Did you
less.
see
that's
here
all.
where I said less and less and less till we get pretty close to a vacuum?
But to
That means
establish
there's still
something,
stuff in there. It's just a lot less stuff than we have down here.
simple question: 10 to the minus 17, positive or negative number?
Who cares?
No,
He knows. Don't worry. He's been asked that question loads of times, Chokey.
I'm not Chikey, I'm Samurai.
Oh, sorry, Samurai. God, I'm fucking up the feet and meters, and now I just fucked up 2 people. That's really good. I'm doing well this afternoon.
No, it happens a lot. I don't know. I think we have the same accent.
So do you know what's up there? If you want to chime in, do you know what's up there or not?
Up there in space, I've read a few documents of the of satellites from the ESA and everything, what they do up there, what they measure. For example, there are satellites which measure the thickness of the ice sheets over Antarctica.
All right. So in December 2019, our team put Cartosat 3, which is a mapping satellite, into orbit. And this particular satellite's pretty exciting because it's got a camera on it that takes photographs of the Earth with the precision of 250 by 250 millimeters, which is extremely sharp for a satellite. And this does the entire Earth every 12 hours.
So what team would that be?
This is ISRO. This is the Indian Space Research Organization.
Okay. Can I get verification of what you're claiming?
Sure, I can give you the coordinates of this satellite anytime you like.
All right. So I got ISRO. Can I get in contact with them and give them your name?
You could ring them.
Yep. I'm ready to call them now. Do you want to do this?
Well, sure. I mean, who are you going to reach at this time of night?
So who are we going to get in touch with at ISRO?
Oh, well, I'm not going to give you that information.
Why not?
Something you're going to have to do for yourself.
Why is that?
Because I've got no intention of embarrassing people where I work. And say
why would you be embarrassed?
Some flat earthers ringing up to ask about the.
Why are you calling me that? Joking? Why are you calling me that? I've just got honest questions about what you're claiming.
No, that won't happen.
Why is that?
Because it won't.
Why is that?
It sounds like we have multiple.
Don't interrupt.
Right
Don't
now
interrupt. Here. Don't interrupt.
Oh.
Why won't that happen?
Because because if you want to call them, you do that off your own bat. Please don't include me in your nonsense.
So are you saying that I'm not allowed to ask questions?
He's
not saying that
what you're saying?
No, you need to listen, Merle.
No,
be very clear and specific.
No, I'm being polite.
You know that he
anybody.
No, Merle.
I'm asking you questions about his claim.
Shut up and listen. I've got something to say. You know that he did not say that. He did not say that you couldn't ask questions. He said, if you're going to ask questions, you do it off your own bat. You don't do it in Professor Phil's name. That's all he said.
Why is that?
Because you're insane. Subjective.
Man. Why don't you add to the conversation instead of being a useless troll? Fuck.
Your question, I answered it.
Why don't you just mute?
Why don't you just go away, Merle?
No, because I'm here, and without me, you have nothing. No one will listen.
Well, Merle, why are you allowed? Merle, why are you allowed to tell? Why are you allowed to tell people what to do, Merle? But
no one would listen to a bunch of fools like you talk about heliocentrism.
Merle, I have an idea. Call them. Call them right now. But do not mention the name of anyone else because it's your case. If you want to call there to verify it, do it, but in your name.
So what's the claim, Phil?
Oh my God!
What would you like to know? You can ask
the question.
You can ask me.
I'm not the only one.
At ISRO will give you any information that I can't give you. So what would you like to know?
Okay. So what are you claiming?
Well, I told you before that at 509 kilometers is Cartosat 3.
Right. Cartosat 3.
Mm-hmm. You want to look it up?
Sat 3, yeah. I'm looking it up now. Okay, yeah, I've got you. So what's the claim about this thing?
It's a satellite.
Right. And what's it doing?
Going around the Earth, of course.
What else
Polar
is it doing?
satellite going-
What else? What's the point of it?
It's
To take
It's
pictures?
to map the Earth.
Why
Yes,
does it
it
need
takes-
to map the Earth?
Takes
Why does
high
it need to do
resolution
that?
mapping satellite.
Haven't they got other satellites up there
Oh, plenty.
that are doing that? So is this India's like injection into the space race?
India's been doing this since 1975. I've been there for nearly 12 years now.
Okay, so you're part of Israel, are you?
Hmm I'm one of those. I'm one of those bad people. Yes.
I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm not saying you're a bad person. Listen. You're gonna get it from me straight, mate. People who got questions, if you can't answer them, you're fucked. Nothing's gonna happen to you. When I say you're fucked, I mean you're sprung. It means you're lying and the fucking public's onto you. If you can't demonstrate what you claim, you're fucked. Nothing's going to happen to you. You're not in danger. Nothing. Your family, your livelihood. We're saying we've just had enough of the bullshit. The public's aware of the lies.
Well, I
Now,
guess that
the
means
fucking claims need to be demonstrated, Phil. I'm just giving it to you straight.
Mel, I guess that means that you're fucked because you can't demonstrate flat Earth. You can't demonstrate anything that you've
mate,
claimed.
I'm not.
You've provided no evidence. You've provided no evidence of anything you've claimed, Merle. So you're going to be fucked, right?
Hang on, Merle.
Why am I going to be fucked for asking questions?
Because you can't demonstrate anything you claim.
Hang on, Merle.
He's asking questions. You got to take him down.
I'm going to say that you're in your own pool of cognitive dissonance.
No, mate, I'm awake.
You're in your own hot tub,
no, mate,
and
I'm
you've turned
awake.
the turbo on.
I'm awake. Shut up.
No, you're not. You're not,
Shut
man.
up.
You've watched.
Been
That's why
awake
you're
for
telling me to
years. Shut up. I see through you. I see through all of you.
That's why you're telling me to shut up, because you've watched fucking YouTube videos. That's all you've watched. You've watched nothing.
No, what are
You've
those
done none of your.
You underestimate.
You've done none of your tests. I may.
Underestimated my power.
What's burning up in the sky there?
I think Merle is on the
You have
terms.
nothing. You have nothing.
Merle, what are you
Okay,
saying?
Merle, do you have something? Merle, we have nothing. Okay, what do you have?
Common
Merle,
sense.
what?
Logic.
No.
Merle.
Oh, next.
Yeah. You're a troll. Weak.
Merle.
Just calling people troll. Good argument.
That's what you are. Get used to it.
Merle, what does
Continue.
what's his handle? What's that dickwad's name that made the 200 proofs that only have 7? Then they aren't even proofs.
Jubei, the magician.
Eric Dumbay. Yeah, that's who. I'm guessing that's who you first saw.
No.
Eric Dumbay.
No.
Mark
Do you want to know where it
Sargent.
started? No.
I'd love to know where it started.
Powerland.
Matt Powerland. That's the even dumber than fucking Dumbay.
Is it?
I called that motherfucker out and he never got back. I've never seen any videos from him for like 5 years. Seriously, Matt Powerland, if that's who you're talking about.
Dude, we know.
What a dumb motherfucker.
It's not going back in the fucking bottle either. We know.
I think you're getting
Hey,
this
dude.
habit.
Dude,
You
if
can say
you're
what
that-
you want about me. You can fucking slander my
I'm not-
mum. You can say
Hey,
I did
hey,
DMT.
hey.
You can no.
Hey,
You shut
hey.
up, Jazz, right now. You can say I'm on the terps. I'm coming for you.
I'm not saying anything about you.
On Professor Phil. Let your department
I will
know.
kill you.
Let your
No,
department know.
hang on, Dicklog. I'm not saying anything about you or anything about anyone related to you. What the fuck are you on?
Nah, mate. You're out.
personal threats. Yay!
No, no one's being threatened. It's out. You've been ousted. No one's in danger. That's the truth. No one's going to die, are they? For asking questions. Shut up, Jazz.
Hang on.
Please
No, you
shut up, Jazz.
Thank you.
Jazz, you're getting in the way of truth, mate. The only reason people
more evidence. Do you have some evidence?
The only reason people are fucking here right now is to hear me, not you, Jazz.
I disagree.
Oh yeah,
because you're.
Oh yeah,
because
they're
you're.
here to listen to Jazz's drunk ass.
No, hang on.
Drunken, go home, please.
Walter Russell, you're a fucking messiah. So yeah, of course everyone's here to hear you.
Nah, mate. Never claim that.
I got a good idea. Why don't you just mute yourself for 15 minutes? Let's see how many people leave. Try that.
Cool idea.
So you think they're here to listen to you guys? You think they're here to listen to you guys explain heliocentrism? You think so?
Are you afraid to mute yourself and find out that nobody is here to listen to you? Is that what you're afraid of?
You think anybody's here to listen to you guys explain heliocentrism? Deluded much?
Fuck yes. Absolutely.
And
why would anybody do that?
And Walter Russell, when you're disciples, do you think that fucking
you're a shambles team? Troll Team 6.
You
you're
think
a shambles.
65 people are here to listen to you guys?
You're a
Mel,
shambles.
to be honest, your rhetoric's getting boring. So... It really is. I'm getting bored from you, Mel.
Later.
Cheers, everybody. I'm leaving. See you later.
So,
cheers.
Yeah, right.
Kid, yeah.
Okay, bye-bye.
Whoever the flat earther is, how do you explain all these videos of something falling out of the sky? What's falling out of the sky here? I got like 20 different angles.
Actually, who can answer me a question about tomorrow's program?
So all that's happening here, Jam, as usual, is your gatekeepers are a shambles. Flat Earth Society is on watch. This group is done. They have nothing. They will not stop the truth. Let your gatekeepers know it's
Mel,
weak.
can we have less of the bloody rhetoric, please? It's just
What do
boring,
you guys
dude.
have besides that?
Walter Russell, you do realise how many fucking people live on the globe, don't you? You dumb motherfucker.
What do you guys have besides insults and nothing?
No, actually,
I can present you 10 different
I
papers.
take that
of
back.
evidence.
What do you have besides attacking people's families and trolling people on the internet? You weak pieces
That's what
of
you're
shit.
doing.
I
presented many times scientific evidence.
On our side. That's what we got.
I never
Yeah,
attacked
sure.
your family, Walter.
You people
I'm
are
very sorry about that.
Delusional to the highest
The
degree.
weakest
I take
people
that
there
back.
are.
Mel, so basically you're saying you're
The
not
weak-
doing that. You're
Yes,
saying
I'm
you have
unhealthy.
evidence and everything,
I've
yes?
got to have a bag. I've got to have a cigarette. I've got to have a drink. I've got to have a... Yeah, that's them. I've got to have a cigarette. I've got to have a bag.
How did you gonna say that?
Legend.
Bad
No,
brains.
you're just a bunch of
You
delusional
guys are
weak
totally
people.
unhealthy.
That's all it is.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Most
Okay, Mel, let's
certainly
talk
are.
with
They're
facts. What facts do you have for flat Earth? Some evidence, scientific experiments, anything? Or just blah blah blah?
What do you have besides rhetoric?
No, stop. Blah blah blah
Okay,
or
here we go.
evidence?
Here we go.
Rhetoric
I
or
just
nothing?
destroyed you. I just destroyed
Do you have
you with the
evidence? Jen, be quiet. Merle, do you have evidence?
badly.
You just talking without anything. Baseless claim.
Railgun.
Listen to me.
Okay.
Listen to me. Do you want me to
That's
destroy your heliocentric
The
model
rail-
for you? Do you want
me
me
to
to
do
do
that
that
for
for you?
Past, we've been
Yes,
listening to
oh,
the,
yes,
for the
please.
past hour of your
Gene,
garbage.
let me destroy their heliocentric model
Yeah,
in
you
front of
can't
them
destroy
and watch them
anything,
cry.
Mel.
Let me talk.
So Samurai, what's water?
Yes. No, you're changing
wet,
the
it's
question.
wet.
My question was
What's
if you have
water,
any
you
evidence
weak-
for the flat Earth. I asked the first question.
What's
You answer
water?
my question, I answer your question. You answer
Right.
my question, I answer your question. This way,
Go
not the
ahead.
other way around, okay?
Go ahead.
Have fun.
Go ahead.
Well, Do you have any evidence for your claims? Any scientific experiments which prove or provide evidence for a flat Earth? Or are you just and making a baseless claim? If yes, provide that evidence, please. After that, I will provide my answer for what water is.
Okay. There is no flat Earth.
Welcome to the globe.
There is no globe. They're both propaganda.
What is it?
It's a simulation.
What is it?
Okay, explain.
What is it? Do you want to find out? Do you want to find out?
Still, it doesn't matter. Evidence can still provide evidence for your claim, can it?
Do you,
or is it just
do you accept my first two answers first?
No.
From your personal perspective, you can say whatever you want, but science will never accept them if you do not provide evidence.
I'm about to do that, but do you accept my first two answers that there is no flat Earth and there is no globe?
Your personal opinion, I accept it.
It's not my opinion. I can prove it. I can prove it.
Do it. Do it.
So, do you know what water is?
Yes.
You are so fucked right now. You don't even know it.
H2O.
So, what is water?
H2O.
Matter.
Water.
Go
H2O.
on. Go on.
And liquid.
Liquid what, can be rhetoric.
Yes.
Are you ever going to get back to
move on with your point.
No, mate. What's water?
You're not going to get back to the shape of the Earth.
Yeah. Okay, what's your point?
You're gonna get back to the shape of the Earth.
I have no clue what water is. I have no clue what water is. Explain your point.
Why don't you know what water is?
I have no clue. Sorry, I wasn't educated on that.
No, you're lying.
No,
you're lying.
No.
You're lying. You're lying.
Please, continue with your point. Explain what water is and why it matters to your point.
Have you ever drunk it?
Nope. I am dehydrated all the time.
So you're lying. Why are you lying?
Please. I drank water. No, please. Continue with your point.
No, listen. You need to be honest to talk to me.
Yes, I drink water all the time.
Okay, so why did you lie?
That's all. I don't know more.
Why did you lie?
A joke. What is that stupid question? Move on.
Okay, so you understand what water is, do you not?
Yes. I understand.
What is it? What is it?
I know
the basic parts of it.
That's enough for this conversation. Now move on.
Nitrogen and oxygen. What the fuck do you want?
So he doesn't know
answered
what
H2O.
is, right?
At the beginning, I answered H2O. That's enough.
So you've basically said a word. Now, what you're going to realize is that it's a liquid, right?
Yep. I also said that.
This is a chat room.
And it's a liquid on Earth where you are. Well, that's where you exist. It's not a gas, right? It's not a gas, is it?
It can be.
It's not a solid. Okay, so all of a sudden you guys know what it is. Isn't that interesting? So you know what it is, but you don't know what it is, and you're lying, but you're telling the truth. Which one is it?
I want to move on with your point. Move on with your point. I'm very sorry, but continue. I don't care. Nice story.
Well, listen, this is science. This is physics.
Okay, continue.
It exists.
Yeah, water exists. Amazing.
So the heliocentric claim is that the surface of it is flattened with the weight of the gravity pressing down upon it. Is it not?
Level. It's level. And level is with the curvature on the Earth. So level, the first definition of level. Can you read it out?
Answer my question.
It doesn't matter. Just move on.
Are you going to tell us
what
surface of water conforms to the forces acting on it?
What is water? I want to know now what water is. I want to know what is water.
Yeah, fix your mic first. Merle, move on. Okay.
Right. So when water is placed in a container, it takes the shape of the container, right? Whatever the container is. Whatever the container is, it will take whether it's a squiggly fucking cylindrical tube or a rectangle or a sphere, you'll put water in it and it will take the shape of the container.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's formless.
It's not strictly true.
What? Why do you want me to move on?
Yeah, I want to see what you claim is.
Listen, you can measure this stuff. Do you know what a liter of water is?
Liter? How
Yeah.
exactly do you want me to answer it? A liter can
Do
be
you know
said
what a
as the
liter
same
is?
as 1 kilogram because of the density of water.
Right, so all of a sudden you know the weight of it too. Interesting. So, do you know what a liter is?
Silly.
A liter?
A liter. Right. So you can measure. You
unit
can
of
measure the water. Right.
volume? Yeah.
So you can measure it. You know what you can also do?
Okay, move on. Yes. What?
Whenever it's in a container, you can measure the level of the water line.
Yes, correct.
You've heard the term, is the glass half empty or half full, have you not?
Yes.
Right, so with half a glass of water, you can measure the water line.
Yes.
What's the
Correct.
shape?
It will be concave, some kind of, because is it concave or am I
convex?
Saying the word convex? Yeah, it's on the shapes on the closer to the edge of the container. The water will bend slightly upwards.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Concave for the meniscus.
So
Concave, yeah.
if you have a square container with half a liter of water, what is the shape?
There will be a small bulge, but it can be considered as flat.
You have a meter square container of water. What is the shape?
Yes.
You have a mile square.
Depends on how much water's in it.
You have a mile square container.
A square
What is the
container.
shape?
None of them are flat, Merle.
What is the shape, Samurai?
It will never be perfectly flat, but if 1 kilometer, it will be close. It will go with the curvature of Earth. I don't know if 1 kilometer can still be considered as flat.
How can you have the curvature? How can you have a curvature of the Earth in a square container?
You never said that the container was 100% full.
How can you have the curvature of the Earth in a square container?
From left to right?
Because the water complies to the forces acting on it, Merle. That's how.
They are lying.
No.
Who's they?
It does.
Great proof there, Merle.
If
Thanks.
you can take a bucket of water, you can fill the water inside the bucket, and you can swing the bucket. Hey, let me finish. You can swing the bucket around your head, and the water will not go out. It will stay there because the force acting upon it to stay inside the bucket is stronger than the force which would make it go out.
So when does the curvature of the Earth kick in a square container?
At all times, Merle.
I wasn't asking.
The curvature
you.
of Earth.
I don't
Always
care. I
there.
gave you an
It's
answer.
always there.
Why are they lying? Chemo.
Who's lying? Who's
Jin.
lying?
Why?
I don't
are they
know why
lying?
they are lying. Continue. What's your point?
Percentage.
The curvature of
Why
Earth
are
is
they
always,
lying?
always there, unless the
Who's lying? You or me?
You might.
You're
you might just
wrong.
be
I
wrong.
don't know if you're lying.
No, I'm not wrong.
So continue, please. What's your point?
So the substance called water can be measured. It's formless. It will take the shape of
it's
whatever container it is placed in. You can measure the water. You can listen to me, dude. If you keep interrupting me, I'm going to crush you.
Oh, okay.
If the container's not full, then the liquid will not.
I've been polite, dude, and I'm going through
Okay,
the
let him
methodical
talk.
process.
Let Mel talk. Let him talk.
It's not curving, bro.
You know that the nature shape of water is a sphere. Have you seen these videos of water in space?
It can only
we
be
provide-
demonstrated on a small scale.
I'm pretty sure if you get a lot of water, it will be a big.
There's only one
sphere
problem with your claim, Merle, and that is that you haven't provided any evidence to back up what you just claimed.
Yes, I have. Many
No,
times.
you haven't.
Okay, show me the evidence. Wait. He said he has.
Okay,
show me. I would like to read some documents.
In a 6-inch ball.
I'll start here.
I-
So
How
here's
big is your room?
Washington,
That's a
D.C.
giant ball of water.
Right. There's
Oh, yeah,
Washington,
nice.
D.C. Right. Here is a square pool full of water. Here's
Yeah.
the Taj Mahal.
And move on.
Right.
Right. What's your point with
Yeah,
that?
So
none of
where's
that-
it curving, dude?
None
Where's
of-
it curving?
none of
Right there.
The
None of
small
those are
scale
measurements.
can be considered
Merle,
flat.
Merle, none of
So
those are
what-
measurements. None of those are measurements, Merle. They're pictures.
So
They're not
what's that,
measurements.
dude? What's
Okay.
that, Sam?
It's a
Is
picture,
that a
Merle.
square?
They're not measurements,
Is it a
Merle.
square? Is it a square, mate?
I'll ask you for
You
evidence,
got that
not
one?
pictures. Of
You're saying-
course, evidence can also be pictured, but not you
What's
just post a picture and say evidence.
What's this?
Show me the
What's
measurements
that?
of this picture. You make claims that it is
Sam.
absolutely flat. Show me
Sam, what's
evidence
right?
that it is absolutely
Sam,
flat.
It's all right, mate. I
Oh.
know you got cogged ears. What's this?
Okay.
What's that?
Why are you only showing small scale?
Picture of a square.
You can only show small scale.
Exactly.
Surface of that square.
So you've got
square
a
is
vertical and a horizontal. That's
At
what
least on my
square, right? Right?
Okay,
No, that's not
no,
what makes
please, you haven't
no.
provided any measurements based on claims only. So please, move on.
No,
That's
no,
not
no,
an
no,
adequate.
no, no, no,
That's not an
no, no.
adequate definition. That's
No,
not
mate.
an adequate definition.
You're
of a
denying
square, Merle.
reality, not me. You're denying.
No,
reality.
no. I'm agreeing
Merle,
with you on
Merle,
all
other people,
points except
for fuck's
Listen,
sake,
dude. I know
other
what's
people want to
going
talk
on here.
to me. All right, other people want to actually talk too. All right, your definition of a square is not adequate.
So you're
Mel.
done, Sam. Bye, mate.
A square is not just vertical and horizontal lines, Mel.
When does it stop being that, Paul?
Can a rectangle have vertical and horizontal lines? Oh yeah, it can.
What's a square? Break it down for us, Paul. Go on.
Well,
Square.
well, if I
Square
What's a
has
square,
four
Paul?
right angles and equal sides, doesn't it?
Right. And what are the four sides?
all
consist of?
horizontals, if you have it on
They're
the
all
table.
equal. They're all equal.
They're all straight lines, aren't they?
In a square, they're all equal.
They're all straight lines, right?
Yeah, right.
Right. So when do they curve?
They
Curving,
don't.
yeah.
But what?
Right.
They don't. But what's the relevance of that?
Who's trying to curve the square?
No one can
Are
curve
you,
the square.
are you trying to? Are
Yes,
you trying to
and-
imply that because squares don't have curved lines in them that the Earth's flat, Mel? Because that's just really retarded.
So what's
This is-
happening?
Oh
there
no,
in
he
Washington-
wouldn't do that. That would be stupid.
What's happening
So, Mel,
there in
why are
Washington
you saying it?
DC? What's happening there in
Yeah,
Washington DC?
Water.
That's not a square
And?
for one.
So you got a vertical axis and a horizontal plane, right?
Are you,
Why
are
does it
you, Are
matter?
you saying that the Washington pole is a square? Because it's not
Where's
a
the
square.
where's the horizontal plane, Mel?
So where's it curving?
Did you measure it's not curving because you're providing it? You're saying it's not curving.
So you're denying,
If I'm
you're
seeing it
denying
wrong.
reality, right?
How do you know it's not curving, Mel?
Yeah, I was going
Yeah.
to say, have you established that it is flat, Mel? Because again, there are lots of measurements we take that are below our eyesight or our touch to be able to take by hand.
Right.
So that particular.
We know how water
all that.
behaves by now.
Yeah, it conforms
it-
to the shape
with the force acting
conforms
upon
to
it.
the forces. Yeah, that's right. It conforms to the forces acting on it, which means that on a globe Earth it would be curved.
No,
Mel.
that's a soundbite by heliocentrists.
So if we have gravity, it would behave like we say, and we have
Right.
gravity. I provided experiments for that. So please.
Right. So what's this doing? And if you
Doing-
deviate
Slightly-
from it, from it, I'm gone.
It's a stupid square. Are you
Right.
stupid?
Again, it's
Thank you.
a body of water conforming to the forces acting upon it.
No, it's not.
So you're saying
Okay,
water
and
doesn't conform to the forces acting upon it?
No.
First
it
he said
doesn't.
that he knows how water works, and now he doesn't know.
No.
So
fucking
why are
amazing.
you saying
Well,
it
I've
does-
shown you an
doesn't conform to
example
the
that it
forces-
does.
It is
conform to the forces acting or not?
it is static, and it takes the shape of the container. That's what it does.
Saying something static and saying that it takes the shape of the container isn't establishing that it's flat, Mel.
And it only takes the shape of the
my word, it is when it's square. You can see that is not curving.
Oh god, damn it. Well, you're showing stupid squares and saying the Earth is flat.
Conforms to the shape of the container.
But gee,
what's containing the top?
What is the shape of the surface?
No. What's containing the top of the water?
What's the shape of the surface?
Can you answer my question rather than
the shape of the surface?
Not answering it till you answer mine.
Say it, okay. You don't want to answer it.
Mine, Mel.
Doesn't matter. You don't have to answer it.
You're dodging, ducking, and diving the point.
You're the one dodging, mate.
I asked a question, you refuse to answer it. Who's dodging?
You. You're the gatekeeper. You're the Flat Earth Society. You're the liar.
Okay,
you're the one on
Mel.
task.
Mel,
right?
You're the one lying here, mate.
You're the one on task to gatekeep the globe.
Well, I have an idea. You take your evidence.
Facts, Mel. You like rubbish. I'm sorry,
Mel,
mate.
Mel, do you think if you go to a university, Mel,
gatekeep gyms?
If you go to a university to any professional who has a degree in science, do you think he would say yes? That is evidence. I accept it.
Shut the fuck up, you little troll cunt. Chemo. Unmute, please. Chemo, if you're here, unmute, please. Please.
Chemo, he needs you need to come riding in to save his ass.
No, no one's saving me.
Emo, common white knight.
You cannot.
Where's your evidence? Can you show me any documents on
I seem to be handling stuff quite happily, Mel.
This is all being recorded.
And the only
this is all being recorded.
I'm really glad it is, because the only person that
the only person in here
people,
gatekeeping is you.
People, or
the only
dodging questions is you, Mel.
The only fucking people in here gatekeeping you guys.
Oh,
so Chemo,
I'm just getting really annoyed with you. So please, where's your evidence?
See you later.
Jin, are you here?
Finally, he's gone. Oh no.
Oh, Merle, you do know that wind causes waves, so that's forces acting on water.
Darkstar, Shroomy, JJ, if you're here.
I've shown you an example of the water bucket. If you spit it in your head.
Thank God you're here. JJ, shut up, you little cunt. JJ.
Insulting again.
I love you.
Sorry, Merle. You on the room? I think not. Why don't you stop being such a dickbag and fucking have a normal conversation with people, you asshole?
JJ, we've shown him wrong, so he has to go to.
If you care about your brain cells, get out of here. Shroomy, you got a fucking skull, dude. Lemon.
When you say that
don't
water
even
doesn't
bother
act,
coming back in.
the
They're
forces
finished.
on it, you're done.
Finished.
Iron sharpens iron, and there are people that are listening that need to hear the arguments and counter arguments. It's the eternal struggle against the truth and the lie.
Why do you want to keep it going and perpetuate it?
I'm in the middle of fixing Greece. Okay.
They're nothing without us.
The lie is nothing without the truth. That is true.
Amazing.
No, what do they have? What do they have without us joining the room?
No fun.
Discussions around science, and philosophy, and history.
You honestly think anyone tunes into that?
Well, you're entertaining us. Didn't you notice that?
You honestly think anyone comes here to hear you guys explain heliocentrism?
Earl,
Hey, Merle.
You're incapable of a decent conversation, so we don't need you.
At least we can provide evidence and not only pictures of squares.
You're a weak bunch of faggots.
That's also a good
Again,
argument, but
all the claims you want,
disagree.
Mel, but without evidence, it's just weak waffling in the wind. Or to quote 13th Warrior, your words are like an old woman's, weak and without merit.
Well, if I swing a bucket above my head that has water in it.
Shit got real tonight. We had a dude from the Indian Space fucking Center trying to gatekeep too. Right?
Oh, Merle, if I swing a bucket above my head that has water on it, is there centrifugal force acting on the water?
And then when he was pressed on what
And the container of the pail. Without the container of the pail, the centrifugal force would just send it out.
Yeah,
you're
true,
right.
true.
Right.
So there's forces acting on the water and water
And a
controlling
pail
the force.
to
And
keep it from flying off
It's
everywhere.
Is a centrifugal force an actual force or an apparent force?
Actually, the centripetal force
It appears to
actually
be
was
an actual
just
force. But the real thing that's
Lemon is
keeping the
not
water in the
well,
pail is the container, like the firmament, not the force.
The evidence for the firmament, the container firmament.
As the centrifugal force can act, but without the pail there, it would just spray everywhere.
But again, is centrifugal force an actual force or is it an apparent force?
It appears to be an actual force.
No, it's an apparent force.
It appears to be an actual
If
force.
it's not an actual force keeping the water in the pail, then why are we talking about it?
It's an apparent force because apparent forces still have an effect.
An apparent force that's actually keeping the water in the pail against the bucket?
It is.
Okay.
So apparent forces can have effects.
Yeah, that's interesting. What makes you say that it's an apparent force when it has a real actual effect?
It's an apparent force. Go on.
Centripetal force is an actual force. Centrifugal force is an emergent force.
Damn it, I hate it when I'm wrong.
Centrifugal
right.
force
I should have stuck to my first
only emerges when something is rotating.
Oh. Huh. Because this stuff gets so technical, I'm just like, how do I think about this stuff? It looks like it's keeping the water in the pail. That's the way that I was seeing it, but guess I was wrong.
Hey, we're all wrong sometimes, mate. Me more than most.
Me more than others who are more than most.
Wow. I like your story, JG.
I think when objects rotate, they absorb energy from the ether.
Lemon, can you answer a question for me? It's not flat Earth related. What do you think gatekeeper means?
Paid to keep people from reaching a conclusion, from going down the right track that leads to the truth if you don't want people to know about the flat truth kind of deal.
So you'd say it's definitely an intentional thing to try and do, almost intentional like a lie.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. No, thank you. I appreciate that. I like that definition.
Intentional, yeah. Or part of the an unknowing part of the conspiracy kind of deal. Like the government says, go onto these, servers and troll flat earthers, and you're like, why? They say, just do it. Just doing your job, not necessarily knowing the ultimate reason. A pawn in the game, as it were.
Yeah.
Lemon, you said you thought rotating objects are absorbing energy from the ether. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Bruce De Palma took 2 balls. One that was hooked up to a drill, and the drill would spin at 27,000 rotations per minute. And then one ball was in a cup, and it was stationary. He tricked out the drill to where he could have both of them on top of the drill, and he could launch the still ball and the spinning ball in the air at the same time to see if gravity would act on both of them equally. The ball that was spinning rose faster and descended faster than the ball that was stationary in the cup. So that may imply that energy for movement is being absorbed from the ether by spinning.
Why would the government pay people to troll flat earthers when there's like a nearly limitless supply of people who would just do that for free?
If I had to go conspiratarded, They don't want people coming to the proof of the creator with an obviously created, flattened, domed earth. And by extension, Jesus Christ, the true God. Well, the Son of the true God, if you want to get technical.
Well, no, he is the true God because God, the Holy Spirit, and the Son are all three as part of the Trinity.
But going a bit more secular, not going religitarded, it appears that NASA is doing some secret stuff that they don't want people snooping around about down in Antarctica. They want to hide those bases with those inaccurate heliocentric maps. That sort of stuff.
Well, can you point out where you've got any proof that the heliocentric map is inaccurate? Can you show me like a distance that doesn't equate to a real world condition?
You'd have to go back to Robotham's day. The sailors were essentially saying, we're getting too much land down here based off of our travel times and stuff like that.
But we now have very accurate ways of measuring distance and time. So surely we want to use more modern, more accurate information.
You would think, but I mean, I don't know.
Well, wasn't Robotham's time 150 years ago or something like that?
1870s, I think. Yeah.
Oh yes.
So
You think
I would.
you'd think we'd want to be more accurate?
You'd think. It's hard for me to square that.
That really,
Maybe
in a better mood
Robotham's
than I
problem was he didn't have any.
No problem.
He didn't have any airplanes. Maybe that was the problem.
he didn't have GPS either.
Oh, that's right. He didn't have that either, did he?
GPS is a pretty big deal.
GPS does help, but I don't know if I can square that with people getting less and less able to reckon things without a computer. It appears that the computer says... What's that?
Go ahead, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, the computer says one thing, but reality says another. What were you saying?
No, I was just going to give a shout out to Blue Marble Science. I'm your biggest fan.
Thanks. I can use all of them yet.
So I suspect people are doing whatever the computer tells them, whether or not it actually matches reality.
Recognize that voice anywhere. I didn't have to turn on Discord, and I knew it was Blue Marble.
If you want to provide any citations for those sailors, that would be cool as well. We can go and examine that.
I guess we could go to Dubé's 200 proofs, see what he has to say about that.
Okay, but that's what Dubé is saying. So one of the things about Robotham is that, like, a lot of his, like, quote-unquote, his journals were anachronistic. Like, there were anachronistic shit in his journals that didn't, like, he was talking about shit that didn't exist at the time. The provenance of these of his journals is highly dubious.
It's just something to file away. I'm sold out to the flat earth either way because I see a flat horizon and I feel no movement. But it's just something to file away.
But you understand your senses can deceive you, correct?
But you gotta trust your senses sometime. Otherwise you can't make an observation.
If your senses fly in the face of science, maybe not.
Well, the thing is, you know, if this argument's going to have any validity, then you know it's got to be south of the equator. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where the sailors are quoting these extra distances from, or more land than they expect. Because obviously by the 1850s, 1870s, we had a reasonable idea of land masses.
It may be okay to trust your intuition from time to time, but trusting your senses can be hazardous. I'll just say this. If you find yourself in the left front seat of an airplane and you fly into heavy clouds, do not trust your senses. If you do, you'll only be alive for about another 90 seconds.
Yeah, Robert F. Kennedy died like that. Not Robert F. Kennedy.
John
JFK
Jr.
Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John.
He died because he ignored his instruments. He
Well,
flew
he
with a
wasn't
heavy cloud
trained.
cover.
That was,
Wasn't he
he
flying
wasn't
from,
trained.
into Cape Cod or from Cape Cod, wasn't it?
Can't remember. I just know that
Trained.
he wasn't paying attention to his instruments. His instruments were
Yeah.
telling him the truth, but he was going by intuition, and he ended up crashing the side of a mountain.
Well, yeah, we assume his instruments were working properly, but he just wasn't trained. That was his problem. It wasn't even a cloudy night. It was just hazy. But when you're flying at dark, and especially along a coastline where you've got a line of lights that you can see, it will produce the effect of a false horizon. And you will think, your brain will tell you that your plane is tilted. You're in a bank when you aren't. It's very, very dangerous. In fact, one of the reasons why I don't agree with the idea that we allow private pilots in this country to fly after dark without an instrument rating, that is not allowed in a lot of countries.
Mm.
And I mean, just optical illusions and things like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Just obviously, your senses are not reliable 100% of the time. You gotta compare what your senses are telling you versus with what tools, instruments, scientific measurements are telling you. And if these scientific measurements fly in the face of your senses, then seeing how you know your senses are fallible, why appeal to your senses?
And these tools.
Well, what was that?
These tools aren't fallible.
Oh.
It's not that tools aren't infallible. Tools are infallible as the people that are using them. If you don't know how to use an instrument, you're gonna end up like when people take these EMF readers and then try to go detect ghosts with them. You're using that's not gonna work. That's not what EMF readers are not ghost detectors, right? They're EMF readers. But if your instruments saying one thing and your senses are saying another thing, you'd be best served 90% of the time, especially in situations where you're flying or something like that, every time just about, with using the instruments that you have at hand. I used to go and listen to these black box recordings. There's a whole transcript. So there's a whole list of all these plane crashes, and it says cause of the plane crash, the final black box, the final in cockpit conversations that were happening, step by step. It gives you a timeline. And I've never seen a plane crash where somebody was properly using their instruments, and that's what ended up causing them to die. The plane to crash. It's always they're either not using their instruments or using their instruments improperly. I gotta answer this one.
Well, instruments only take care of or interpret what's brought to them. Actually, the human interprets what's been brought to the instrument. So eventually the human needs to trust his senses enough to interpret what's been brought either to the instrument or to his senses. So eventually the person has to trust their senses enough to offer an observation and or an interpretation. I guess the question is, are we going to trust the equipment more than our senses? And why?
You have to. With flight, you have to, Lemon. You absolutely have to. You get two. You'll have conflicting information being presented to you. Your instruments will be
Aviation,
telling
you really want to trust your instruments because there's
I'm sorry.
motions that
I thought I was
will make you think that you're doing something, but you're not.
Hold on, Blue was saying.
Now, whoever that was seems to have more to say than I do. So go ahead, sir.
I think Blue was saying, well, both of you were piggybacking off of the point of trusting your equipment, which is true. But I think it may be a philosophical fallacy to trust it to the exclusion of some faith in human senses, because our human senses will eventually need to render a verdict and an interpretation.
Sometimes you can have faulty instruments, but your senses can be faulty too. Especially on airplanes.
I guess my main problem is what appears to be kind of an atheistic statement that says we're nothing more than chemicals, machinery, similar to this very equipment with no special status. Yet we give special status to the artificial equipment over what, according to this materialistic, dictate says, is the same materialistic equipment we have with our eyes, our own ears, and our own senses. Philosophically, I don't see how that's justified. That appears to give arbitrary preference to similar equipment by even their own philosophy, if we're all made of ultimately, the same stuff. So I see a bit of a philosophical contradiction there. I see a distaste for humanity over artificial machines.
And sometimes our senses cannot be trusted, and you can rely on instruments, and sometimes your instruments might be fucked up, and you have to trust your senses.
Mole Man, Dr. Shallow, did you hear Blue Marble Science speaking when you were very cunty, interrupting him very abruptly? You like interrupting, like when he was having a nice conversation with Lemonbird, and while he was like in the middle of his sentence, you just went in for it, bro. You don't hear Blue Marble Science? That was fucked up, disrespectful, bro. For real.
Jose, sorry, I didn't know. I somehow accidentally silenced Blue Marble. I had him on now, so I'm very sorry. Why? Because I don't want to mute him.
Mr. Blue Marble, I think we were talking about the reliability of plane equipment.
Well, that's why it takes so long to get an instrument rating, Lemon. Not only do you have the problem that your senses are going to be lying to you, but there are times when the instruments can lie to you too. So we have primary flight instruments and we have secondary instruments, and you've got to be able to reconcile all of that quickly. And if you've got an instrument that's malfunctioning, you've got to be able to identify what instrument is that, so that you take that out of your decision process. What a complicated thing. But regardless of who you are or how good you think your body is, I promise you, your body is going to tell you at some point one thing when in fact the opposite is true. That's the reason why we don't trust any sense we have other than our eyesight when we're flying an airplane in instrument conditions. Just that simple.
I guess as the religious-hearted theist that I am, I would tend to prefer humanity as the primary thing, not the artificial equipment. What was that? Humanity first, with these tools to help us. What was I saying?
That's Gene interrupting, Lemonbird. That's what you asked. What is that? That's Gene. Gene CBR1 interrupting, that's it.
What's good, Jen? We might have a bit of a lag. I know you're over there in Japan. It might be a bit of a 1-2 second lag. So, Jen, you can go ahead right now.
He dropped. I think he was hot micing.
Oh, shoot. I would go with humanity first with this equipment to help us achieve our humanity. I would not put the primacy or the preference on equipment which needs to be interpreted still. I would put the trust squarely with humanity that appears to be seeing a flat, level surface, not curving lenses or other equipment which still needs to be properly interpreted.
Well, my only advice to you is don't try that in an airplane.
Definitely.
No matter how much you trust humanity, we're going to be going to your funeral tomorrow.
Blue Marble, don't you know that if you really want to know how much something weighs, you just ask somebody to like just hold it in their hand and tell you instead of putting it on a scale?
Yeah. That's almost
That
what it
does give
sounds
you.
like. Then.
It does give you a nice standard to standardize things, but I can tell if something's lighter or heavier than something else within limits.
You can't tell me just by holding something in your hand how much it weighs better than a scale can.
I think it gets bad when you have curving lenses deferred to as the standard when they add pincushion, barrel distortion, fisheye curvature. That's when the trust of this fake equipment goes too far.
What temperature is it?
And that's why I wouldn't appeal to a picture as like as a evidence that the Earth is flat. You don't have to do that. There's other ways to determine that the Earth is a globe.
Like a laser shot through the hump of said Earth curvature?
Again, lasers curve, do they not? Aren't they made of light?
They're the straightest thing that we have to determine the curvature of the Earth, though.
But they're still subject to refraction, just
Yeah,
like any other kind of light.
Laser beam.
They do curve
Laser
and
beam,
refract,
it's a
yes,
beam
but
of
they don't
light.
curve and refract 8 inches per mile squared.
Well,
That's a bit
It
absurd.
depends. I mean, I don't know. It depends on the weather time. I wouldn't say that I know for sure exactly how much a laser beam is going to refract. But again, we don't even need to look at that. We don't have to look at light. We don't have to look at anything like that.
You still need a straight standard to measure the curvature of the Earth against. Otherwise, it's just a philosophical declaration.
It's not.
Of course
That's
you
not,
do, exactly.
That's not true.
And they haven't been
No, you don't have to
able to
like.
do
I
that.
don't. I don't have to, for example, be able to tell you everything that an orange is made out of, or to be able to determine that it's an orange. I can use different metrics.
An orange is not the globe. An orange is not.
It depends on the application, guys.
36 miles an hour in a vacuum. So, you know.
Yeah, it depends on the application. If the goal is to gauge the weight of a thing, then yeah, we have our tools are better than our natural, capabilities, our senses. But if it's to see straight lines in the distance, i.e. the horizon, then the goal, there's nothing better than the human eye at seeing that.
Okay, well now you got to justify that claim.
It's justified. Any lens you
It's
use.
justified. You just said it
Hold
was.
up, hold up.
Therefore it is,
So
right?
the human eye doesn't have barrel distortion, but any lens you use will have barrel distortion. So, and that's the whole point of these rectilinear cameras.
Okay.
Hold up.
That
That's
doesn't-
the whole point of these rectilinear lenses, because they're trying to straighten those lines that should be straight and make them true to life, because they're curved on lenses, and they're trying to straighten those curves.
That doesn't mean that there's no better way to determine whether or not the Earth is flat or spherical than the human eye.
I didn't say that. I just said in terms of lines in the distance, there's nothing better than the human eye.
Well, I did say that because there's nothing else other than a straight standard like a laser, an EMF signal, or something that travels straight and true over the land. If there is, I'd love to know what it is other than NASA's fake questionable pictures. I must have someone muted.
I know who's talking.
Busy Friday, I guess.
Yeah, speaking of, hope everyone's having a blessed Friday, man.
What a beautiful day. Basically, we need to deal with the incorrect philosophical assumptions that made us push this ball. We have a floor that appears to ramp up toward the level of the eyes. That's not consistent with a ball in any way, shape, or form. That's more consistent with a flat surface.
Well, if you claim the Earth is flat, Lemon, that means you've never lived on a ball. So how would you know what it should look like?
Based off of inference from looking at an orange or another flat, round surface dipping down and away from the highest point.
Yeah, I prefer to kick balls, to be honest.
Also, water appears to lie flat and level. And if the Earth is 70% water by logical inference and extension, most of the Earth is probably flat.
Well, this Earth isn't 70% water. It's only a few percent water. The surface is covered. 70% of the surface is covered by water. But the Earth is not 70% water.
Yeah. So
I
most of
believe
the
it's bumpy, really.
Hmm?
You believe that it's what?
It's bumpy.
It does have topographical features, but so does the ball. Topographical mountains.
Topographical oceans.
Topographical flat oceans, not mountainous oceans or valley oceans or anything that matches the surface at all.
I don't know. It matches everything we say perfectly.
Yeah, you get mountainous seas too.
Philosophically, that goes against what a liquid is. A liquid appears to fill the container until it's brimming and flattening out on the top, typically. It usually does not take a shape on the top or the surface.
Yeah, well, it does frequently do that for other reasons. But it simply responds to the gravitational field that it's in. And it is attempting to reach its lowest gravitational potential at all times. And that is why it will be level, a word that Bev loves to use all the time. That's the reason it will be level, but it just simply means at an equal gravitational potential.
Gravity is too occult for me to invoke it. This force that pulls in.
Yeah, watch out for them demons, Lemon. They is everywhere.
Maybe you could get over to my garage and do an exorcism on this machine of mine because it's just full of little devils, I suppose.
Sanitas, Sephiroth. But I would go with the ether flowing in and out of substances, leading to a general river-like current. If you have two objects that are next to each other, they're going to block the currents that are flowing toward the opposite object, shielded by the other object in the way. This will lead to what we interpret as gravitation, as they're passively pushed toward each other, and we call this quote-unquote gravitation. That's much more intuitive and much more sensible than this occult pull to the center forever gravity force.
I prefer scopolamine to ether, to be honest.
The electromagnetic ether, full of magnetic rivers, electrical rivers, heat, electricity. What else is there? Orgone energy, odic energy, just all these different potentials and manifestations. Depending on the effect you want to get, you just hitch a ride on one of those rivers.
Yeah, I like the river of no return best.
One interesting ether theory talks about it being this pressure, this medium all around that presses everything, and what we think of as atoms as these little bubbles within the ether, kind of pushing out against it. And eventually everything will return to the ether, the bubble will pop like in sonoluminescence, and it'll just return back to the ether from which it came. So we may be made of little bubbles within the ether, as it were, little distortions and local deformations we call quote unquote atoms.
Multi-dimensional theory.
One day, pop, back into the ether. It's a very interesting theory. People were talking about how magnets appear to channel this river of energy into themselves until the energy uses up the substrate, uses up the magnet, uses up the match, burns it up, and uses up the substrate. Like the match or the magnet is an antenna for this energy that it's tapping into from the ether. If it's attuned properly, the energy will flow through until the substance is used up.
But I really hope I'm not around when magnetism runs out. That's for sure.
They're pretty durable. I think they come with, 1,000-year warranty, something like that.
Well, since we can't guarantee how long ether's going to last, we can't guarantee how long a magnet's going to last.
I don't guess ether has a form. It's more the potential to take any form as needed, to take on any configuration or shape possible. Just about infinite potentiality, potential to take on any form, shape, become just about anything you need.
Infinite is a word.
It makes sense based off of my predilection for woo, and looking at a cymatic sound plate with salt on the plate. You put out a vibration and a frequency in what I would call the ether, and that salt lines up in any shape you need. It also has a certain appeal since God said, "Let there be light" with his voice, and stuff happened. It shows sound and frequency, marshaling everything in existence into order.